Welcome here. Come and join with me for mock interview at Meta. And so today we can start now, right? No need, no need to introduce, right?
No need for introduction. Yeah,
Oh, okay, we can jump. Are you ready?
yeah,
Okay. So, do you know Spotify?
yeah. I know Spotify.
Okay, cool. So, I want you to implement the feature on Spotify. It's called top K trending song on Spotify within uh within 2 days. Trending
Within
in
two.
2 days.
Mm,
Right? You understand? Top K. K is
okay.
maybe 10 or 20. I can pick. Yeah. So understand?
Okay, okay. Understood. Okay, so first I need to clarify the requirement for this feature. Okay, so first
Okay.
we need to show the list of the top K. Okay, let me just get this. Uh,
Top K
top
trending.
K most trending song in the past X day. And X here is around, just assume 10 or 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 1 week. Cool. So
Okay. So, okay, top K trending song in the past X day. Uh, do we need to make this real time? So can we, for example, like aggregate this information at the end of the day, and in the next day, we just show everything that happened
try your
from
best. Try your best.
what?
It's very cool if it's real time, right? So try your best.
Okay, I will try my, okay. If possible, okay. Real time if possible, but can be um, aggregated from the past few days. Okay. Okay, and the trending metric here is calculated by the number of time our user listening to a song, right?
Listen or even mention
Just
because
mention.
it's trending, right? I just mention or click to hear,
Mm,
click to listen. It's okay. A lot of action, right? Mention,
mm,
share this one.
mm,
Okay,
mm, mm.
understand?
Yeah, I
Trending
understood. Okay.
or even hashtag the name or something. Okay.
Okay, that does increase the difficulty significantly, but we can deal with that. We can deal with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so trending here include things like um, listen,
Yeah.
mention in social
Mention
media.
hashtag
Okay, hashtag.
to this. Yeah.
Okay, hashtag.
It's good.
Okay, we keep for the past. Okay, top K trend song in the past X day. Um, hmm. Okay, what is the expected number of user on our platform, and what is the expected number of song we have in our platform? So I would just say Spotify would just say that we have like 10 million user,
Okay.
10 million
So
user,
good.
10 million user.
10
And
minutes.
for the number of song, I'll say because if I remember correctly, Spotify also allow user to upload song their own. So I can just okay, what would be a okay? I'm not quite sure. So I was
1 billion song is okay. 1
1
billion.
billion,
Okay. 1
1
billion
billion,
song.
1 billion.
Okay.
Okay, so we are estimate that each user 100 song per user. This is a very high estimation. This is a very high estimation. We can go with that. Okay, listen, mention in social media and hashtag. So regarding mentioning in social media, how are we going to integrate this? Do we integrate this with webhook, or we have to provide API to third party?
Yeah. Mention assume that we have API to support it. So I mean no worry.
Okay, okay. So I'm just going to say we
Mention.
have the API to provide to our
We
third
have
parties. Using
webhooks, for example. So
webhook
anyone
or
mention, so we can clone this one.
hashtag. Okay, got it. Hmm. Not quite sure about how we are going to give incentive to social media platform to spend their computational resource to send requests to outside, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, provide API to third party. Okay, hashtag. And how are we going to view this top K trending song? We are going to view it via our app, via the view the
Yeah, via dashboard.
trending dashboard via our app. So web or mobile.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's an API.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, and how
Because
many
end user can see the trending, right? So it's show to the end user. So
yes.
okay. So okay.
So are we going to show it? Where are we going to show it? So are we going to generate a okay, so Spotify generate a playlist every day regarding the most trending song in a certain region. Do
Okay.
we okay. That in
We
that case,
support.
wait, our future is going to be similar to this, but we also want to see the real time. Okay, I mean, if we provide this API, if we provide two API, one for the aggregated data and one for the real time, we can use the real time API for the app, and we can use the aggregated data for uh, album generation. So it's not a big issue. So view the trending dashboard via our app. How many times our user are going to see the trending dashboard? So let's say we don't show this dashboard every single time you log into the home page of Spotify. Let's say that
Yeah.
we have a dedicated page for that. I would say, like, for example, we have a million user, but only 1% of those users are going to open the dashboard every day.
Oh.
Okay, so
Right.
okay, 1% of user open the dashboard a day. So our QPS is going to be 100K per day. 100K per day is going to, you might use a calculator. Can I use a calculator?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can.
100K per day divided by 686,400. It is going to be 1.15, approximately 1.15 QPS, query per second. Okay. So this is not going to be a very, so this is going to be a lightweight API for reading if we already generated the dashboard, but it's going to be intensely write heavy because we have to aggregate the data from all of the user activity,
Yes. Yes.
thing, generating, hashtag. Okay, okay, so how do we, okay, we also need to, so it's going to not be very read heavy, but it's going to be write heavy. So we have to estimate the number of listen, mention, and hashtag. So listen, how are we going to, so let's say we have 10 million user, and for each of these user, they listen to about 100 song per day. 100 is, okay, 100 is about 300 minute or 5 hours. So that is going to be a reasonable estimation. So our one user, 100 song a day, 100 song per user per day. So which means that this API is going to be this API is going to be the API to aggregate listening information is going to be called about 115 query per second. It is okay. 100 sample user per day is going to be 1 billion query per day, or 1 billion query per day equal to, okay, let me just calculate this with a calculator. Okay, that's going to be 11,500, approximately 11,500 query per second. So this is going to be very write intensive. We can,
Yes.
yes, mentioning
Very
in
right.
social media. Mentioning in social media, let's just say that we have, okay, so this is going to be special because not the traffic pattern, but this is not equal day to day. So for example, if you release a new album, there's a higher chance that users are going to mention it a lot more during the day around the release of the album compared to later day. So I'm going to say that provide API by third party. How many times we are going to call this API per day? So 10 million user, 10 million user, each of them are going to post one update regarding the song per day. Yeah, so let's say 10 million per day,
Then,
or approximately ding 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 query per second. Oh wait, no, not this number. It's going to be this. Yeah, so this is mentioning in social media. And also hashtag, I will say the same. A hashtag is similar to mentioning in social media. So the responsibility of detecting whether a song is mentioned in social media, I'm going to leave this to the social media platform. They have the functionality, they have the capability to process natural language in order to detect which song they are referring to. Now, if they post a URL, that will be easier for them because they can just check the URL, see that, okay, this is an URL from our platform, and therefore they will know which song the user is referring to, and they can call the webhook on our side. Same with hashtag. So I'm going to leave the implementations of how to detect that the song was implemented, a song was mentioned in social media to the social media platform. I'm just going to handle the API in order to get to collect data regarding whether a person whether an user have listened to a song, or whether these API are going to be provided by our third-party partner, whether they have mentioned the song in a social media platform, and also via hashtag. So to sum these three up, about we'll need about this much query per second. This is a capability to uh,
hey, so maybe time restrictions. So I think we can come to another part. I want to see
mm,
more about your design.
mm,
So yeah,
okay.
just remind you.
Yeah, okay,
I,
okay.
I think very clear for requirement, I think. And so your estimates is cool. So we can come to another part, okay?
Okay, let's do so. So let's go to our um component design. So we have to define the entity that are inside this feature. So let me just have another example here. We have entity. So in this, we have user, which is just a regular user in our platform. We have a song, which is just a song in our platform. And then we have a listening, okay, listen or mention, listen or mention event. So listening or mentioning event, these are going to be, okay, let's just call this data aggregation event because these are data aggregate. So this is the three entity we have in our in our project right now. We have the user, we have the song. Every single time a user listen to a song, we will log a data aggregation event. So this is, and also every time they mention the song on social media platform, we also have to log a data aggregation event regarding this. And we aggregate all of these events in order to have the dashboard. Okay, not well, the, how does it, leaderboard. Yeah, leaderboard, the board of the most trending song in the past K day. So, yeah, the leaderboard is just going to contain very simple information, song ID, and listening or measuring count. This is optional. No, this is optional to show to our end user, but it's going to be required for our side in order to check how in order to find the most trending song. Okay, so we have this entity. So I'm going to say that we will need to separate the user related concern away from all the matter. So we have a user service here. This is responsible for managing user authentication, user information, so on, so on. We also have this. We also have a song service. Song. Okay. How come this is not? Give me a second. Escalator is screwing me over. User service.
User service.
Okay, how do I? I'm just gonna copy this user service. We have a song service. So this allows us to retrieve information regarding a song. So, okay, and we have user service, song service, and then we have song. Okay, so song service is related to its responsibility is to manage information regarding song. So like who made it, where can I retrieve the binary data of the song, the audio data of the song, and we have the song, we have the um, trending song service. This service is going to be responsible for collecting data regarding how many song people regard collecting data and build up the trending song leaderboard. So our entity, God, our entity. Okay, it is really screwing me over. Oh, okay. Thì ra như thế. Okay, our entity. Em cần phải luyện tập cách sử dụng escaladron được không thì em sẽ chết. Stroke này. Okay. Okay, our entity, the user. So our entity, the user, is going to log in via the user service. This is simple. They are going to retrieve a song. So when they want to listen to a song, usually they will just send request to song service in order to listen to it. Song service can communicate with trading song service somehow in order to aggregate that information. So here. So I'm just going to draw a temporary here. We are going to change this later. This song service cannot call trading song service directly. Is going to be too heavy, but we're going to deal with that later. And also we have the social media platform. And social media platform is going to communicate with the trading song service. This, we can do it. The number of query here is small enough that we can handle it in real time in regular request response model. So I'm just going to leave them call trading song service directly. And in practice, we are not going to call them this directly. We're going to handle this through, so this we have the, on this, okay, with this we have the public internet, which is the open internet where everyone uses our service from, and we have data center. And in the middle, we would have something like a load balancer in order to balance our traffic. So load balancers like Nginx can also play a part as the reverse proxy in order to load, okay, just load balancer plus reverse proxy. So the responsibility of the load balancer and the reverse proxy is, one, they can distribute the traffic to the corresponding to the necessary service. That's one. But also two, they can also redirect the correct API endpoint, the request to one API endpoint to the correct service. So let's say I want to make a request to the user service. The load balancer is going to say, okay, this API is covered by user service. So we are going to redirect the request there. So yeah, so that is the responsibility of the reverse proxy load balancer. As mentioned in the name, it is used to balance the traffic that is sent to our service. Okay, so regarding the API we are going to support, we are just going to support some API like this API are going to be defined in the load balance in the reverse proxy, and we're going to proxies those requests to the corresponding service. So we have things like pause listen. Pause listen is when a user starts listening to a song. So they send the request to the song service, pause listen. And this request say that the user is starting a listening session. And we are going to send this information from the song service to the training song service in order to aggregate some of the listening information. We also have training song service, and training song service, we're going to provide a post mention. So post mention song listen post mention. Okay. So we are going to provide this API, training song service post mention. Post mention is used in order for can be used with integration with in the integration with external social media platform in order to log information regarding a mention of a song. We also have things like get leaderboard, and this is used in order to retrieve the uh, most trending song in the past few days. This API can even be this API can be customized. So we can customize things like top equal to the number. So top here, we're going to restrict the number like max 100, and also day, past day equal to, I'm just going to say max 7. And also, we also need to provide an additional, and optionally here, we can provide real time, true or false. And this is for a few, so this can be done for a few use cases. First is that uh, if our API is used by the, so if the API is used by our app, we can set real time equal to false, and we can get the aggregated data in the past few days. But if this information is collected from our internal service, for example, like in order to generate an album, we can set real time to true.
Oh, yes. I really want to know that how you can handle such data and how you can return the final answer to the client.
Hmm. Okay,
I want to
that's
know
good.
more detail about, yeah, how you can build this system.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And
let's
the
start.
call logic, which service store call logic to return the top K trending. So
Yeah, it's going to be the trending song service. So trending song service have this
yeah,
API, get leaderboard, in order to get the leaderboard.
yeah,
So I'm going to describe how we are going to construct this leaderboard. I'm going to go. I'm going to describe how we are going to build this leaderboard. So
yeah.
the naive solution is when a user listen to a song service, call trending song service directly through an API in order to say that, okay, the user is listening to a song, we can increase the number of reference to that song by 1. So that is going to be very heavy because like we have established here, the number of queries is going to be at somewhat 11,000 per second. And we don't want to deal with that. And there's no real need to deal with that in real time. We can accept a leaderboard that is about 30 seconds or a few minutes or a few hours late. We don't have to do it in real time. We don't have to do it in real time. So what we are going to do is we are going to introduce a message group here. So message group. This
Massive
can
queue.
be this can be Kafka or RabbitMQ. It doesn't matter as long as we can support a publisher consumer model. So Song Service is going to create an event. The event here is song listen event. Let's just say that there's an event that a song has been listened. This topic, this event is going to be useful not to our trading source service, not just only to our trading source service, but also to any service that want to aggregate data regarding an user listening to a song. So message wheel, our trading source service is going to subscribe to this topic in the event queue, and it is going to aggregate this information by itself. So there's a few ways we can handle the increasing of listening session or the increasing mention from social media platform. The next solution is that we can uh, do it in a database transaction. We can, okay, check the database, see how many times we have listened to or mentioned this song. And then we can um, we can lock that row, increase the data, increase the count by 1, and then store that information in the database. That is one way. But that is going to require a lot of locking on the database. And that is going to be, we are going to be bottlenecked by the performance of the database engine. So what we are going to do is we can leave the, okay. Actually, should we do that? That's going to be a simple solution. That's going to be a simple solution.
Yeah. You execute to store event each time you receive checking event, right? So like mention or hashtag or something, right? But yeah,
Yeah,
my message queue. So and then you call back a changing source of it, right? To view the
yes,
dashboard.
yeah.
Uh
So the user can call. Okay, so we are going to use a message queue. The training song
yes.
service will have a message consumer that consume from the Kafka or RabbitMQ queue in order to be notified by the event that an user had listened to a song and then increase the corresponding entry in the database by 1. That is one way to do it. That is one way to do. That is one way to do it. And then when the user want to see the dashboard, they can check. They can call trading source service and query. The naive solution is we can query from the database and see what are the top K most popular song in the database, and then return it to the user. That's going to be very slow. That's going to be very slow. We can increase the performance in our database engine by having an index in order to index the column that containing the count. But there's another way we can do it. Another way we can do it is
Uh,
uh, un we can use a cache. We can use a cache like Reddit. So Reddit have this sorted list data
sort
structure.
of this.
The sorted list data structure allow it, like the name mentioned, you can store information and you can sort information accordingly. So let's say we introduce um, Reddit here. Oh,
Remember we have 1 billion user, so Reddit.
yeah, I'm going to I will go into that. So
Uh,
so we have Reddit. We
you
have
have Reddit.
Reddit, and we can store information. We can store pair of number of mention and song ID in Reddit and use sort of set of song ID in order to get the K most trending song in from Reddit. So if we are storing 1 billion song, let's say it costs 8 bytes in order to store the song ID and costs another 8 in order to store the number of references, and we have 1 billion song. It is going to be divided by kilobyte, megabyte, and gigabyte. It's going to be nine. It's going to be 15 gig in memory. Reddit can handle that. We can allocate a Reddit cluster with 32 gig, 16 or 32 gig of RAM, and Reddit can definitely store that information in its own internal RAM. There's an even better solution. We don't have to do that. We can have multiple Reddit clusters. So instead of one Reddit, we have several Reddit. And each of these, we are going to short the information and sort the information in different Reddit cluster. So let's say we don't have, uh, and we have an even better solution is that we don't have to keep every single song in Reddit. We don't have to keep every single song in Reddit. When we increase the number of references to a song, we can keep, for example, we can keep like the top 100 popular song or top 100,000 popular song in Reddit. And then when a song increase, the song has a number of references increase, we can check if it is eligible to be put into our Reddit cluster. If it is, we put it into our Ready cluster because we already said that we don't need more than 100 most popular song. We only need to keep the most popular song, the 100 most popular song. So we can check if our song is currently more popular than the 1,000 most popular song. Then we can keep it inside Reddit. So when our user want to view the dashboard on their app, the user is going to make a request to training source service. Training source service can refer to the dashboard that has already been constructed in Reddit in order to display it in their UI. If our Reddit cluster go down, we can reconstruct it later via a periodic cron job. So we can say like we have a daily cron job that check in our database and get most the top 1,000 most trending song in our database and store it into a Reddit. And we can increase that query performance via an index. And because we are only retrieving the top 1,000 song, we can, and that query is going to be pretty fast. So yeah, that's my solution. We can even improve our performance. So from what I can see, Reddit have trending dashboard, trending album for different regions. So Vietnam have a different one, Singapore have a different one, Japan has a different one. We can scale our infrastructure based on geographic location because it's unlikely that a user in Japan is going to listen to a Vietnamese song. So we can scale up this infrastructure differently based on our region. And for example, we can also use message queue partitioning in order to have different Kafka consumer for different region. So we can partition our song by region. So US song, pretty popular, will be handled by the most number of Kafka consumer. But Indian song, okay, I'm a racist. Anyway,
Okay.
uh, Ukrainian song, Ukrainian song is not going to be handled by a lot of Kafka consumer. So that's my idea. For social media, um, it's the same. It's the same. We can also go through the same process. So social media can call training song service directly, and we can store the information in our database directly. That is okay because the number of requests from social media is actually not that great. It's about 100 per second. But we can also create a message queue. Then say we can create a second queue called um, we can create a second queue called song. Okay, great. Done this. And create a second queue called song mention event and have training song service consuming from both of these queues in order to increase the number of references in our database. Let's calculate the number of write in our database. So for each of these events, we are going to each of these events is going to result in one write with lock in our database. So I would say the bottleneck is going to be in our database because now we have to handle, well, this 12,000 query per second in order 12,000 write query per second. So how am I going to increase the performance of our database cluster? First, I can use a distributed database. For example, if you are using MySQL, you can switch to TIDB in order to have distributed write across all of the server in the cluster. Second,
Okay. Okay. So I understand. Just
yeah,
because time limit, so I think we can stop here.
yeah,
Because
okay.
remember that during the interview for Meta, I think 5 minutes for introduction first, and then 5 minutes at the last section for Q&A, right? And so actually for interview, the real interview, so just last for around 35 minutes. I
Hmm.
think yeah, the time's up. Sorry, maybe we can make some conclusion here.
Okay, let's
Okay,
conclude. Okay,
so back to Vietnamese.
yeah.
And so okay, à, anh nghĩ thì thực sự lúc đầu em có cái overview khá là good về production, như kiểu là hỏi khá là kỹ estimate kiểu về mấy cái kiểu requirement ấy,
Hmm.
khá là good. Nhưng thực ra là anh somehow nên là anh cảm thấy bị hơi hơi nhiều, tức là anh có tính tham ấy, từ lúc
Hmm.
2:35 ấy cho
Hmm.
đến gì gì đó 48 anh vẫn thấy là vẫn cái đấy thì anh thấy là sợ hơi lâu. Anh nghĩ
Ừ.
là 5 phút thôi. Tại vì hay
Ừ.
nhất ấy là chú giao rồi, anh nghĩ là chú phỏng vấn target level là 4 nhỉ,
Ừ.
thì sẽ phải quick fast hơn, tại vì anh nghĩ là sẽ có nhiều trò hay hơn ở phía sau, đúng không?
Ừ.
Đương nhiên cái đầu tiên thì vẫn phải làm chỉn chu rồi, là chắc chắn rồi, anh nghĩ là nó phải nhanh hơn một chút nữa, đúng không? Còn đẹp nhất là follow theo cái button ấy, là requirement non requirement functional. Bọn anh có template với chú xem chưa, hoặc là tại vì bọn anh cũng có welcome các chú thích học thì cứ thoải mái thôi, team giảng viên
Ừ.
mà, ok.
Ừ.
Thì nó đỡ bị quên cái này mất cái kia, đi thi có template nó dễ hơn, đúng không? Cái thứ
Ừ.
hai là thực ra core entity em có ghi ra rồi, ok well, nhưng mà bị thiếu một số cái field core để mình còn làm, đúng không?
Kiểu cái
Tức là
estimate cái kích thước của mỗi cái entity này.
cái feature, đúng không? Thì ví dụ là đương nhiên là mấy cái field phụ thì thôi bỏ qua thì cũng được, đúng không? Feed
Ừ.
time hay gì đó, nhưng mà cái field chính để em dùng để em xử lý data thì lại không có, làm cho rất khó là để keep track. Ví dụ là anh expect là chú cùng cái biến cao chẳng hạn, để cao đúng không, thì cho set đó, đúng không? Chỉ
Ừ.
cần nghe mention cái kiểu chú increase cao lên, đúng không? Mà rõ ràng near link town thì mình hoàn toàn mình có thể process, thứ chú dùng sau từ set, ok. Nhưng mà có cái hay nó là chú chưa nói phần sharding, tại vì 1 tỷ cái billion song như thế thì cũng mệt ạ,
Ừ.
mà chẳng nhẽ lưu 1 tỷ cái cao thì cũng hơi kinh, đúng không?
1 tỷ cái thì mình không cần phải lưu 1 tỷ cái, có thể là mình sẽ chỉ cần, ok, mình lưu một
Em
tỷ
đang
cái, mình update cái sorted list ở trong Reddit, và đồng thời thì mình cũng có rất nhiều short cho rất nhiều các bài hát khác nhau, mình short theo song ID, và mình
thì
sort ở
chú
trong
quên
đấy.
không mention đấy,
Về cơ
nếu mà
bản đó
chú
là một cái bài về cơ bản đó là một cái bài merge sorted list.
yes, thì chú
À.
những cái hay này anh ấy sẽ chú nói, nhưng mà bị lúc đầu chắc là chú phiêu quá nên
Ừ.
là chưa nói những cái, tức là em chỉ cần nói nếu mà nói cái ví dụ có thêm cái cao ID hay cái gì đó thì anh sẽ dễ keep track hơn gì đó, đúng không?
À.
Rồi chưa
Ừ.
kể là chú có thể nói thêm những cái hay ho như kiểu sạt cao tơ gì đó, đúng không? một
Ừ.
triệu gì gì đó, rồi mình xử lý hot hot key như nào, đúng không? Hot row ấy, tại vì có những cái bài hát rất là hot, đúng không? Mention nhiều, đúng
Ừ.
không? Một cái đấy, tức là rõ ràng mình bị hơi lan
Thì
man vào
làm sao
những
để
chỗ.
mà xử lý được cái bài là cái việc mà bị bài hát hot nhỉ?
Hát hot thì mình có một cái gọi là introduce cái gọi là sorted count, sort counter, thì chủ để sort, thì cái đấy có thể giúp
Tức là
sort
mình
counter.
short counter.
Yeah, sort counter. Tại
short
vì làm sao được sort sort counter,
short
sort
counter
chứ không phải share.
short counter merge system technique where a counter across name smaller counter or
Cái
short.
vụ mà chú cho lên event queue ấy, nó đã giảm cái speed ride, mình control được rồi, cũng ok well.
Oh
Thì
yeah.
nhưng mà nếu mà data vẫn còn nhiều thì chú có thể sử dụng cái shard counter này để update từng cái một, nó khá hay,
Ơ,
để tránh
anh
trường hợp
kiếm đâu ra
copy.
mấy cái design pattern nào vậy? Em cần phải đọc những cái này chữ gấp trước khi tuần sau.
Trời ơi, level L5 mới khác.
Fuck. Anh kiếm ở đâu vậy? Em kiếm ở đâu để em mượn với?
Anh kiếm đâu gì, đi làm biết, phỏng vấn nhiều biết.
Fuck. Ok, ok,
Anh hơn
ok.
mày bao nhiêu tuổi, phỏng vấn bao nhiêu
Ok.
công ty level cao.
Ừ.
Anh phỏng vấn cả level M rồi kia,
Ừ.
chứ vừa nói mày đấy. Ui
Yeah, được.
giời ơi thiệt. Ok, khi nào nói sau nhá. Đó, chú phải tin anh nhỉ. Ok, để hiểu
Ừ.
chưa? Nên thành ra là
Rồi.
anh đã bảo rồi, thì mày có thời gian mày vào học với chúng nó ấy. Mấy anh em dạy nhau mà.
Ừ.
Đó, thằng Huy nó cũng vào đó, thằng Huy thằng Nhị vào,
Ừ.
sau đỗ hết cả. Ok, wow, nên chú phải hiểu đó. Thì nhưng mà nhìn chung
Anh có thời
chú
gian.
thông minh. Anh
Nhớ.
nghĩ là cái bài này có thể hơi mới tí.
Ừ.
Thì bài này na ná như kiểu là cái kill ấy, cái primary kill ấy, chú làm như thế thì, đã xong rồi, xử lý cái biến cao xong làm handover smart reduce thì tùy,
Ừ.
ok, xử lý
Ừ.
thôi. Còn nhìn chung chú đưa vào cái overview các kiểu này là cũng ổn rồi, đưa overview cũng
Vấn
thuộc
đề
kiểu
bốn.
rồi, nhưng mà bị anh thấy hơi khó, tại vì chú đã mất cái key nhất là làm cho rất khó keep track. Về mặt
Ừ.
signal, về mặt gọi là chú sao nhỉ, chú có một cái overview về cho là sử dụng các component các kiểu. Ok, well, cũng biết API gateway các kiểu kiểu rồi, estimate các kiểu kỹ, tốt, nhưng mà chủ yếu bị hơi bị lost track một tí khi mà chưa lead ra một số cái core field của entity, làm cho nó hơi mơ hồ cái design, đúng không?
Nào
Dựa
cần
vào
phải
đâu
bớt, bớt cho mục này
nó run.
đi và thêm vào cái mục entity này.
Cái vụ mà estimate cố gắng làm 5 phút nó nhanh,
Ừ.
tại quanh đi quẩn lại có vài câu template thôi. Ok, ok, by the way, hiểu, hiểu á.
No,
Ok
no.
chưa? Tại vì càng senior thì sẽ càng focus vào những cái phần sau, đặc biệt là các phần kia phải nắm nhanh lên để có nói phần sau, tức là phần phần những cái phần bottleneck, phần khó, sharding các kiểu ấy, đúng không? Data lớn làm nào, đúng không?
Ừ.
Chứ nếu mà data ít thì kiểu này thì kiểu gì là xong, cứ ném vào đến đây query tính sau, đúng không?
Ừ.
Như kiểu
Yeah.
ok luôn, query data ok luôn, nhưng mà mình phải talk cái data lớn thì query nó hơi khó, thì mới mới phải nghĩ ra nhiều trò như kiểu là queue kiếc. Ok, wow, clear chưa?
Ok,
Anything else?
em đã. Anh còn thời gian
Ok,
không, nếu mà mình có thời gian thì mình làm thêm bài nữa.